So I met TK at a book event, Read It, Write It. And she was on a panel and she had, what do you call it? Stuff to give away. She had all kinds of stuff she was giving away. And she was giving such great advice, and her personality just bubbled over. She's a romance writer and an influencer and a marketing brilliant person, and I just thought you'd want to meet her. So everybody say hey to TK Lawyer.
Hello.
So TK, let's start first with you giving us just a sense of your writing journey. Just let people just meet you and tell us a little bit about you and how many books do you have now?
I lost track. Somebody told me it was about 25, so yeah, probably. That's right. That sounds about,
I want to be you. I want to be able to say, I don't know, I've
I
lost.
don't know.
So tell us about your writing journey.
Well, I really didn't consider writing a job. So I never really considered being a writer. I know that when I was in high school, I was in honors English and, just English was really easy for me. And I was one of those crazy people that liked to write essays. When we had to write an essay, I was like, ooh, sign me up. Yeah, I'm nuts. So anyway, but I never really thought about writing, and I knew there were people who were authors. I always considered it a hobby. So I never really considered it as a career, for me. So how I started writing was because I felt like I was stuck in a dead end job. And I was just doing the same. I don't like routine. And I was just doing the same thing every day. It was with customers. Customers are different, but you're doing the same stuff. And it just seemed rote. The passion wasn't there. And I couldn't see myself doing it for another 30 years. Oh my God, I was going to wither away and die. So I had to find something else. And I tell this to everyone. I'm very spiritual. I believe in God. And so I was in the kitchen and I was upset with God. And I was mad. I was angry. I said, "You've got to give me something else. I feel like I am dying in this job. I feel like you've got to give me something else. This can't be the end for me. I've got to do something else." So, and it was the weirdest thing because the next day and the following days, while I'm driving, while I'm bathing, while I'm dreaming, while I'm trying to go to sleep, I was being bombarded by ideas and for books. And my boss at the time had written a book. And so, she talked to me about why don't you consider writing? And I just laughed. I just went, yeah, I don't know about that. But I just started getting ideas and I started writing them down because I started thinking these are pretty good. And the funny part is I wrote down all these ideas and none of them are books. I don't even know where they are. Really, I lost them. I don't even know. But they just like I asked and I got in plenitude. And so then I wrote my first book. I actually
Which
started
was,
writing.
what was the first book?
Actually, I got it right here. This
Oh, good.
is Jasper. Not sure if I can't see myself. So,
Yes, I see it.
so there we go. Okay, there we go. So this is Jasper. He is the first guardian angel in the Guardian League series. They're all guardian angels that find their mates here on Earth. So I started writing Jasper, but I didn't finish Jasper
Mhm.
because then I got inspired by another idea. And then I started writing Nightfall. So Nightfall is a wolf shifter. He's a gray wolf shifter. And what inspired me, and I know it sounds kooky, but it was my German Shepherd golden retriever dog at the time who looked at me funny when I was undressing. And I went, "Hey, you are kind of strange. What would happen if you weren't a dog?" Oh, bingo! Nightfall came into came into production. So I actually finished this book and then I started trying to find an agent. I started trying to find either an agent or a traditional publisher because I didn't know anything about indie publishing. So, and I was rejected left and right. And I put the book aside. And it was not until 3 years later that I actually did it again. It was just because I happened to think about it and I actually heard send it out now. And I
A
wasn't even
couple of
thinking
things.
about
Yeah. So,
it.
a good thing for our viewers to know is that rejection is part of our life. A
Right.
lot of times when we're just getting started, I got rejected 78 times.
Yeah, that's nothing. It's nothing.
But then the yeses, then
Yes.
then the yeses come.
Right.
And the second thing that I just want to say is I too am a spiritual believer. I'm a believer. And I know that the Holy Spirit slaps me in the head and tells me things to do. So I have no
We
doubt that
call
the
that
Holy
our
Spirit.
muse. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes. All right. So now here you are. You Now you've got a yes.
yes.
A- And you decided to go indie or you decided to go agent or what did you decide?
I got a yes, and I can tell you exactly what happened. 3 years later, I got it in my head. And I literally I put Nightfall away and didn't even think about it, because I was so disappointed. Nobody wanted Nightfall. And so 3 years later, I was sitting in my nice little rocking chair, my little blue rocking chair, and I thought, I got to submit Nightfall. And it was really weird. And I hadn't thought about it in years. And so I said, okay, all right, let me go ahead and do it. And that weekend, it was so quick. It was crazy. It was quick. I started submitting during the week. And that Saturday, I was at Bob Evans with my husband. I remember exactly. And I was looking through my emails on my phone and I screamed. I was like, and Jim's like, "What the heck?" And I showed him the phone, and it said, "We want to offer you a publishing contract for Nightfall." I was like, and it was a traditional publisher, and I looked them up just to make sure that they were legitimate. They were. And so but I had submitted to all these publishers, so I was like, wow, I can't believe it, I got one. And so they were my publisher. They were my publisher at the very beginning. I went traditional because at that, it's hard when you're indie publishing. You don't know really anything about, oh, got to get an editor. Oh, who's good? I got to get a cover artist. Oh, who's good? Who's no AI? It's all these other things, these things that come to play.
Yeah.
And when you're starting out, you don't know who's good and who's a scammer. There's a lot of scammers out there, so you have to be
And
real careful.
even more now. Even more now. AI has made scamming just
Right.
rampant. So that makes sense. Okay, so you went with a traditional publisher,
I did.
and what made you decide to go on your own?
Well, here's the sad part. So it's Luminosity Publishing, and they're actually my publisher right now. So it's kind of like I went back to them. It's so funny because I was with them. I love them. They are so awesome. They are based in the UK. And so they published Nightfall, they published Jasper, they published the Centurion, which is the second in the Guardian League series. And then they gave me a contract for Apollo and said, "Oh, we are going in an opposite direction. We can't publish any more of your books because you don't have the genre we're looking for." And so they rescinded Apollo, and I went, "Oh man, what do I do now?" And so they said, "We can keep your books that we've already published. We just won't be able to publish anymore," because they were going more with like BDSM, more like hardcore erotica. And I don't write that. I write paranormal romance, contemporary. I do write steamy, spicy, open door, but I don't really have BDSM elements. So, and I'm never going to write that. That's not something that I'm going to write. So I was so devastated because this is my first experience. I was so happy to get a publisher. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to pull my books. So I pulled my books, and then I started going indie. I started looking for another traditional publisher because I did like how I didn't have to pay for everything. And then I was just starting to learn who was good and who wasn't. So I went to another publisher with my Guardian League and with Nightfall, and then I just started actually just doing indie. And I actually have more books that are indie published than traditionally published at this time.
And then you say you're back with Luminosity. So they changed, they changed, so you went back to them?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was this poor book right here. This has been through five publishers. So the fifth one is
Wow.
Luminosity. First is Luminosity. Fifth one's Luminosity. There was a couple of publishers in between. There was one that wasn't too great. And so I've had some ups and downs, mixed experiences. I think all authors have. And so I reached out to Luminosity because the publisher at the time, I just didn't feel was a good fit. And so and the lady that I know at Luminosity was still there. So thank God, because sometimes they change. And she said, you know what? We never did change genres. We never did go
Oh,
the route that we were thinking because we found it didn't make a difference in sales. So she says, we welcome your books back. And actually, she was so happy. She's like, she read Nightfall again. She goes, oh my God. She goes, this is like coming back. And she goes, because she loved Nightfall. So she was very happy to take it back. And she just, it was great.
no, there's so many great lessons in that story about not giving up.
Yep.
There's not always one path,
Right.
different paths, that we have agency as writers. We don't have to just, we're not just at the whim and call of publishers. We can get our books back. We
Yes.
can, so I just love your journey has so many wonderful instructions. And for those who are watching or listening, because we're on Apple and Spotify, as if you're just listening, it also as readers just gives you some insight into what writers go through.
Yeah,
We're happy, but it's a lot.
it is.
It's a lot. So you have, what is your most recent book?
It's this one right here, and this is a new trucking series. It's Macon. It's a Brigade Trucking Company series, and all the drivers are shapeshifters. And so Macon is a Florida Tiger shifter, and it is a steamy romance. In fact, some of my readers say it's the hottest book that I've written. I mean, there's the company slogan is satisfaction is guaranteed. So, hey, hey.
So tell us a little bit about Macon. Tell us about what is he like? What do you love about him? What's really cool about him besides being hot and smoking? Tell us a little bit about him.
He is a growly tiger shifter, and his fated mate happens to be the first female worker that's been hired by the company. She comes walking into the warehouse one day, and he is overwhelmed. It's like, it's an all-male trucking company. The drivers, the warehouse workers are all male, and he's like, "What is this hot chick doing in this warehouse?" And he feels the vibe, like he knows that's his fated mate. But the thing is, she's not there for any man. She's not really interested in a relationship. She's done relationships in the past. She's not really interested in anything serious. So, and she's really there to prove a point because she's been told that she can be the next female manager. Like literally, she could be a manager in training. So she's working her way up and she's got a goal and she has no interest in Macon. So, so Macon has a challenge on his hands, but he's ready for a challenge. He's just that type of guy.
So that's really cool. So this is the first of the trucking series.
Yes.
So are you working on the next one and the next one?
I work full time, so writing is really tough for me. And I've also been sick recently. I had the flu over a month ago, and I still have a cough. Oh my God, this has been the longest that I've been sick. But I am 16,000 words into my next book, and that's Lycris, and he is actually going to be a Minotaur shifter. So I'm going to start going into monster romance. Yay! I'm so excited. So, yeah.
One of the things that really intrigued me, besides your enthusiasm and your incredible productivity of all these books, is that you have an approach to marketing. How you work with your followers, how you stay connected to them. And we have many, many writers that follow this show. So could you just share a little that would give them some good advice?
Well, I am always on social media. My God, social media. My poor husband. My poor husband. I'll be sitting at the dinner table going through Facebook. I mean, that's my main thing. You know, it's my generation. Especially I'm on the older generation. So it's my generation thing. I am on Instagram. I am a little on TikTok. You know, TikTok, I'm trying. I'm trying. I do have some presence on there. I do have a street team. I mean, that's how old, because
Well, not
they don't
everybody
do
knows
street
what that
teams.
is,
Yeah,
TK. So
they don't even
so
do street teams anymore.
explain what a street team is.
A street team, really, street teams were made for the purpose of promoting the author. It's like a fan group, and my fan group is the kittens. They're the kick-ass kittens, actually, and they're on Facebook. And what they these are my greatest fans, and so it's a small group. But these are the ones that absolutely love me. So they follow me and they get extras. So as part of my street team and for helping promote my books, on social media, you also get, excerpts, like they got excerpts of Macon when I was writing it and editing it in the process. They were like, I have like little images that were created. They got, snapshots of those. Oh, this is what they can expect, things like that. So they knew what was coming.
Mhm.
They also get like giveaways. We just did a giveaway recently for Halloween. There's going to be one for Christmas. So those are specific to my group because they support me so much. I mean, one of the kittens followed me to Atlanta. This past summer in Romance Atlanta, we were up there having a good time with the canines. I mean, they will locate me and come see me. So I mean, my God, I love my readers, and these are my greatest fans. So I'm always interacting with them throughout the week. I go on my fan page. I also will post other people's books. I'll post other authors' books like in my newsletter. I keep up with my newsletter, get signups every time I do an event. Um, what else do I do? TikTok, I do my little videos there on Instagram. And like if I go to a book event, I'm always posting like, hey, I'm going to be at this event. Yeah, yeah.
Ah. And you
I'll post
post
like my
while you're at
readers.
the event? Do you
I'm
post
sorry.
while do you post while you're at the event?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not that savvy, but I afterwards, we take pictures throughout the event. My husband goes to all of them, so he'll take the pictures of me and the readers with the books that they buy or merchandise that they purchase. And it's fun. It's fun. They get to take a picture with me and I get to take a picture with them. So it's a fangirl moment for me too. And I post all of their pictures on social media.
That's wonderful. Oh my goodness. And I can see why your fans love you. I totally get it. So, this is What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? So, have you read anything recently that you could recommend to the audience?
I don't really do a lot of reading. I just don't have the time.
No.
I'm
Mm.
working, I have my family, I have my dog. So, and I have this writing on the side, and mostly advertising, marketing, trying to get promotions done, things like that.
I
Um,
understand. Well,
but
was
I
was
will
there ever a
say,
book that influenced you as a writer? Perhaps somebody that when you were first getting started that you read and
I do have some favorite authors, and one of my all-time favorites is Dean Koontz. I started
yeah,
reading his book
yeah.
Strangers. My dad actually read the book Strangers, and I was like, I didn't know who he was. And my dad said, this is a pretty good book. Do you want to read it? I loved reading. I mean, I do. I still love reading. It's a great escape. And my dad promoted reading. He was very influential when it came to like, he wanted you to just read whatever, grow your mind. That's how he was. And
Yes,
so,
yes.
and so I read Strangers and I loved it. And I have read several of Dean Koontz. I absolutely, he is like the one author that I would love to shake his hand and say thank you because you helped me during my formative years to escape. And your books are kind of scary now, but you know what? You're still a good author.
Awesome. So, how do people find you? You said that you have a Facebook page and you're on Instagram. Is it under TK Lawyer or is it under
Yeah.
Kittens? How do they
My
find you?
my fan page is I think it's let me see on facebook.com and it's TK Lawyer Author. But you can go to my website and you
Yes.
can see all my books and merchandise and my jewelry. I've done handmade jewelry and it's on there on that website and it's literally just HTTPS and then colon the two slashes and tklawyerauthor.com.
Lawyer Author.
Dot
Dot
com.
com.
Yeah.
So I hope you are as engaged as I have been because TK is so full of energy. It makes you want to follow her. It makes you want to read her books. You can find her books wherever you purchase books. If you're on Amazon, if you like purchasing your local independent store, your library. And if you don't see it, just ask. Just say, please, I really want a copy of one of TK Lawyer's books. And when you do, you go on her website, please tell her that you met her on What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks, TK.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Excellent.